Hornbills are a group of tropical birds found exclusively on the continents of Africa, Asia, and some countries in Oceania. Their main characteristic is a long, curved beak with bright colors, sometimes featuring a cask-like protrusion above the nostrils. You're probably thinking they're toucans, but those birds are only found in the Americas. And no, they don't live in Africa, even if some movies try to sell us that idea. A unique feature of the hornbill family is that the first two cervical vertebrae are fused. In other words, the atlas and axis, the first vertebrae connecting the head to the spine, form a single structure, making their head movement somewhat more limited compared to other birds. While hornbills share similar behaviors, the species with an intensified maternal instinct is the Sulawesi wrinkled hornbill. As its name suggests, this bird belongs to Sulawesi, one of Indonesia's islands. Yeah, one of those countries everyone knows exists, but finding on a map can be a real challenge. Indonesia is a group of islands located north of Australia. The Sulawesi wrinkled hornbill is endemic to Indonesia, mainly inhabiting Sulawesi and some nearby islands. It lives in forests located at an altitude of about 5,900 feet above sea level. There are scientific discrepancies regarding its genus. Some scientists classify it under Aceros, meaning without horns, or in this case, without a cask, although only one species, the rufous-necked hornbill, truly fits that description. Since other species have large, bright crests, some propose placing them in the genus Rhyticeros. Don't look at me. I'm not the one scientist can't agree, but in the end, it's just a classification that doesn't affect what this species is or how it behaves. The Sulawesi wrinkled hornbill has black plumage and a white tail. Its eyes are outlined in blue, and its long, orange beak measures about half the length of its body. Above the nostrils sits a bony casque whose color varies by sex, reddish in males and the same orange tone as the beak in females. The head and neck feathers are black in females and brown in males. They have 3 forward-facing toes and 1 facing backward. Males can reach up to 39 inches in length, while females grow to about 35 inches, with a weight ranging between 33 and 44 pounds. Currently, no subspecies are known. What draws the most attention is its beak, both for its colors and the presence of the cask. This protrusion, which some might find grotesque or heavy, is made of spongy bone tissue covered with keratin to protect its interior. It serves several purposes, attracting mates and helping break the eggshell when hatching. You might wonder if the size of their beak makes flying difficult. The answer is not really, since their bones are equally porous, providing a structure that is rigid, large, and yet lightweight. They are primarily frugivorous, but also exhibit carnivorous habits. Their diet includes fruits such as berries, nuts, and figs, though they occasionally hunt small mammals and reptiles, capturing them with their massive beaks. They also raid nests to eat eggs and chicks, and even hunt snakes in groups. Yep, I guess their appearance makes a lot more sense after learning about their feeding habits. The Sulawesi wrinkled hornbill, sorry, I have to call it that because if I just say Sulawesi hornbill, it could be confused with another species, is monogamous, and chooses its mate based on the striking cask, typically making this choice between the ages of 5 and 6, when it reaches sexual maturity and begins reproduction. It is believed that this process begins when the rains suddenly decrease between June and September. However, in captivity, in zoos in the northern hemisphere, reproduction occurs between April and June. The hornbill nests in openings found in large trees, caused by lightning, natural processes, or made by other animals such as the Sulawesi woodpecker. After mating, the female enters the hole and seals the entrance with a mixture of feces, food, and feathers, forming a clay-like substance that hardens. This creates a wall with a crack large enough for the male to insert part of his beak and feed her, while the female expels her waste to prevent it from accumulating, as she will remain inside for a long time without leaving. Why does she do this when most birds build nests outside? This behavior ensures the survival of the offspring, an adaptation influenced by a unique predator, the monitor lizards. These reptiles specialize in eating eggs, as they are powerful climbers and can overpower the mother to feed. Therefore, the eggs have a particularly thick shell that makes them difficult to consume, and the cask helps the chicks break it open. The female lays 2 to 3 eggs, which she incubates for 30 to 35 days, staying inside the nest the entire time while being fed by her mate. After birth, the mother continues to stay in the nest to protect and feed her young for another 90 days. In total, she spends 3 months locked in for the benefit of her offspring, a maternal sacrifice worthy of admiration. After this period, the mother breaks the clay wall to exit, while the chicks remain in the nest for another 30 to 40 days, being fed and cared for by both parents. During this time, they strengthen their muscles by flapping their wings until they're able to fly, which takes around 4 months to become independent. However, feeding can be a challenge, as not all trees fruit at the same time or grow near one another. Because of this, flocks of up to 50 birds can sometimes be seen in a single tree, collecting fruit and even fighting for it. Everything is done to survive and protect the offspring. Throughout their lives, in addition to monitor lizards, they must protect themselves from other predators such as raptors, including the Minahasa owl, which hunts smaller individuals, or tree-dwelling mammals like the common palm civet. If they survive these dangers, they have a lifespan in the wild of 20 to 35 years. In captivity, their age is uncertain, as many individuals come from the wild with unknown ages. Although successful reproduction has been recorded in zoos over time, their conservation status is classified as vulnerable. Despite being relatively common and widely distributed on the island, habitat destruction due to deforestation threatens their reproduction, as they depend on large, mature trees. The irregular availability of fruits can also lead to periods of scarcity, forcing these birds to disperse in search of food, sometimes without success, which could lead to starvation. I'm not saying trees shouldn't be cut down, because if it's banned, people will continue doing it uncontrollably. This happens because, when restricted, the price of wood increases, making illegal logging more profitable. Therefore, it's better to research which trees can be cut down, affecting species as little as possible, and plant 2 or 3 for every tree that's felled to compensate and allow for continued growth. A very striking bird with an impressive beak, where females make a mobility sacrifice for the sake of their chicks, preventing them from being eaten, is a little-known species that needs more research to safeguard its success. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please give it a like and share it so more people can discover this channel. I'll leave my social media links so we can stay in touch. I'll also make any relevant announcements about the channel there. If you're new, I invite you to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see each other soon. Goodbye.